There's a lot of pandering on TikTok. A lot of dudes will say things that literally go against themselves, right? Men attacking men. It's a huge thing on there. Derek Jacks, if you will, where dudes will say things like, it's the men out there that are creating these problems. I'm like, but you're a man, dude. Like,
you're listening to the premier podcast for men who want to not only be better with women, but want to be better men in general. This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host, Paul Bauer.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Come On Man. If you haven't done so already, please like, fave, subscribe, hit those notifications. If you are listening on your favorite audio platform of choice, please give us a 5-star review and actually write out why you like the show. If you are watching on YouTube right now, drop a comment. Any comment will do. Literally any comment will do. You can talk about my shaved head. I don't care. You can talk about my cool new chair I got. Got myself a new gaming chair. My old one finally wore out. I had it for about 2 years and it like totally, the back just broke off. So I was like leaning back in a bunch of videos and I was like, man, what is wrong with this chair? And I realized that it had completely busted. So sprung some cash and got a new chair. You know, I think this one was about, with after taxes was about $100 or so on Amazon, but a pretty good deal. I like it. It's a good chair. All right. I want to give a quick shout out to the Patreon, patreon.com/comeonmanpod. The link's in the description. If you join the Patreon, there's 5 tiers available. The lowest tier is only $5, goes to help out the show. You know, if you like the show, if you get a lot of value out of it, $5 is the least you can do. The top tier, though, which is the most popular, that one gives you a Zoom call with me. It also gives you a phone call with me, and it gives you unlimited tech support, which is, I think that's the reason why most people go for that tier, because you get the most value out of it. But, you know, like I said, lowest tier is only $5. So check it out, patreon.com/comeonmanpod. And also get on my email list. I think at the time of this recording, this episode will drop. I think this episode's coming out when I'm coming back to TikTok. But if you guys have missed me on TikTok and this is new to you, then you'll know that I started a email list. And if you join my email list, you get a bunch of cool stickers. Here's one of them right here. Red pilled. That's one. I also have these ones here. Hold on. Got this one here. Not a nice guy. Yeah. And this is a fun one. I stole this one from Ric Flair, but ladies, none of you can be first, but all of you can be next. So get on that email list. The link's in the description, or go to list.comeonmanpod.com and I'll send you those stickers for free. Don't worry about postage. I got stamps right here, bitches. I will pay for the postage. Just get on the email list so that if I ever get deplatformed again, I can contact you and say, hey, follow my new account. All right. Joining me again this week is a good friend of mine. I used to do a group show with him last year called the Mantastic 4. He's been on the podcast before, but it's been a little over a year now. It's Black Spider Guy Advice. He's an interesting cat, you know, because he puts out content mostly on Instagram. But he walks around in a blue hoodie now, and he has a black sort of Spider-Man like mask, but it's not Spider-Man because we don't want to get sued by fucking Disney. But yeah, Black Spider Guy Advice comes back. We catch up. We talk about, you know, the state of the manosphere, everything, you know, since the Mantastic 4. And, you know, we talk about like how his podcast is going, stuff like that. And anyways, we generally catch up. And I think you guys will like this conversation. It was pretty fun. And I'll bring you that conversation right after these words. Hey, you, I'm going to make this real quick. I know you hate ads. If you like this show, if you love this podcast, if you think more men should tune in, then you should consider joining my Patreon. You will be supporting the show, and I get to help more men level up their lives. There's now 5 tiers available, starting as low as $5 a month. It's like buying me a beer, and each tier gives you better bonuses. Visit patreon.com/comeonmanpod to sign up. That's patreon.com/comeonmanpod. One last time, that's patreon.com/comeonmanpod. Help me help more men level up and be better with women. All right, returning to the podcast this week is the web-slinging hero of the manosphere, Black Spider Guy Advice.
Yeah.
What's going on, brother? It's been ages since we've been on a podcast together.
Yeah, man, a lot has been going on, bro. Missed you. Mantastic 4. Just near and dear to my heart. I still look at those videos, still watch those clips. Just pouring in on the content, just grinding, trying to fight for men best I can, man. Just like you, bro.
Yeah, some of those Mantastic 4 clips that I the promos that I would post, they come back around in my like I'll see that people still like them. They'll still show up on TikTok in my notifications and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's still floating around, huh? And like it's kind of funny. So sometimes what I'll do if an old video like that pops up again, I'll download it and I'll re-upload it as a story on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So keeps that stuff fresh. For you guys that don't know, Spider Guy was on the podcast last year, and shortly after that, we did a collaboration podcast together with Chuck Kohout and JRud from TikTok called the Mantastic 4, which sounds gay, but that's that's the name we came up with. And we did that for several months, and then it fell apart when I had to step away because I had a bunch of day job shit I had to start tending to, and we just couldn't keep it going after that, which is unfortunate. Yeah. But do you miss doing those? Getting together?
I mean, it was cool to kind of come together with our powers that be. But I will say, just to be real, just to be straightforward, I feel like certain people had a lot of energy in the game, and some people were kind of coasting. I don't want to name names, but it definitely felt like
there's only 4 of us. So. Yeah,
but it definitely like it's just based off energy, just based off of all right, let's go. You could tell who was really going. I do like the 4-man dynamic, bringing our groups together. I mean, at the time on Instagram, I had a much lower following than I do today. I mean, I had 14,000 on Instagram. Before it was like, I don't know, like 3,000, maybe 2,000. I don't know, when I was first trying to get back from my first ban on TikTok.
Yeah, I've got questions about Instagram, but yeah. I just want to say too, like when we were doing Mantastic 4, it was I mean, a lot of the editing, the uploading, the artwork and stuff like that was you and me. Scheduling the episodes, we were using my Zoom license, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So it was a lot of the work fell on our laps. You did all the video editing. I don't know if anyone knows that, but Spider Guy had to crank out all the video editing
and created the first promo with us in the green screen and all of that,
Yeah.
Cause Chuck doesn't have any editing knowledge, and you taught him how to use CapCut, and then JRud, I think JRud knew how to do a little bit of it, but I guess he never really incorporated that into what he does.
Yeah. I mean, we did so one thing that I tried to do with it was at least try to get the other guys involved, right? So I mean, Chuck was really good because he had a huge following. He kept getting banned though. That like you and Chuck kept getting fucking banned. So that made things like almost so it was so hard to keep promotions going because you guys kept losing your following. That was that was one. That
was when I was mainly TikTok. That was before I started expanding. Now like I can do a promo. I'm not even on TikTok like that anymore.
Yeah. I have a bunch of questions about your new strategy going forward. But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, it's all good. But it's back when I was just a TikTok thing, yeah, definitely it was difficult. And I saw that going forward, and I really had to swallow a pill and just be like, hey, it's time to expand. And I really, I know I mentioned this to you before, but Mantastic 4 really showed me, hey, if I'm going to survive, I'm going to have to expand,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Me too. I mean, well, we've all, except for JRud. JRud's still on his original account on TikTok, but the three of us have all been banned at least once. And after my first ban, though, I was like, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to rebuild myself. So I branched out and started doing, Twitter and Instagram and YouTube also, and also Facebook. But yeah, man, TikTok is brutal. And we go back to like trying to assign people jobs. Like Chuck, I think he was like the only guy that didn't have a job, but he also at the same time, if you asked him to do anything, it's like he's a rich millionaire and he's like, I don't have time for this shit,
Yeah. Like at the end of the day, I feel like, love Chuck, but he's not as hungry as us because he doesn't have to be.
He doesn't need to be. Yeah. And then JRud, we made him the MC. So that at least gave him the, he was sort of the host. So that
no, 100%. But what I feel with JRud, and I love JRud.
Yeah.
But the energy, it's the energy. And, how can I be hyped up about something when I feel you're not?
Yeah.
Like you have to really be. Some people tell me all the time, like, Spider Guy, you're so passionate. It's like, yeah, because this is my baby. I'm Black Spider Guy advice. This is my shit. Like, I'm hyped. But when if you're somebody that's also trying to get into this, but you're not as hyped, it's like, okay, so should I listen to you? Should I really follow you? Like, what if you're not hyped up on your stuff? If you're not, if I don't feel the energy from you, then why should I listen to you? That's how I feel.
I mean, his stuff is really good too, though. It's very wholesome. It's very wholesome. That's one thing.
100%.
I really like about JRud's stuff. But yeah, I feel like when I said, hey guys, I can't do it this week, and I can't. You guys will have to use like someone else's Zoom or whatever. And it sort of all just crumbled after that. I don't feel like anyone really gave a shit at that point either, because I kind of feel like everyone else was like, yeah, let's just.
Well, what happened was when you left, I tried my best to keep it going.
Yeah.
But when you have two opposing energies pushing things forward, it's great. But once you get rid of that other energy and it's just one pulling it along, I'm like, okay, well,
yeah,
Chuck still wants me to do this, and I still got to do that. And it's like, it was a lot on me. When you left, it put a whole lot on me.
It dumped everything on you, basically.
And then I wasn't even able to really do my own thing. I lost pizzazz to do my own stuff because I was so busy working on Mantastic 4. And then I was like, all right, I have to grow on my own. And then that's when I just said, I can't do this anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, I kind of think it's for the best, though. It's it was
a fun experiment. It taught me, definitely changed my life as far as my branding is concerned. Because I was still wearing the old black and red. I was still kind of affiliated with the whole cosplay scene. I mean, I'm still technically cosplaying, I guess, but I wasn't my own character as much as I am right now. So I will say that it definitely. Because, I was in the midst of still rebuilding at that time. So it definitely helped keep me afloat. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say if I was ever going to do an attempt something like that again, like where it's a panel discussion weekly, I would do it more like the Rule Zero guys do it, and do like a StreamYard where it's streamed live to YouTube on that specific time on every week. And then everyone would have to take a turn sharing it on their YouTube channel. And so that means like everyone has to take a turn hosting, which means like it's not in one person's thing or two people's thing every week.
We were still learning. Like anything new, you mess up, and now we know. I've been on a lot of shows since then.
Yeah.
And I've definitely learned my lesson when it comes to collabing. So
yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Lesson learned.
I want to say, so you've changed your look. So we talked about that a little bit. So you've changed your look since the last time you were on my podcast. Do you want to tell that story?
I mean, yeah. So, I was the red and black, I was still like kind of trying to figure out what this character was. Cause when I first started, bro, it was just a mask, right? It was just a mask. Didn't have any logos or any fancy lights. It was just a mask. And then as you go on, it's like, okay, well, you really want this to be a business. You really want this to be, I mean, if you were to compare what I have right now to when I first started, it's night and day. It's just drastic kind of change. Yeah. But, it was just a mask. Then it graduated to a hoodie. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to rock this. But there comes a time where it's like, are you a parody? Are you a parody like Spider Cuz? Are you a parody or are you your own thing? Right. And I really had to ask myself that question. And then once Disney sent that cease and desist of selling of Spider Guy memorabilia, I was like, I guess this is just the universe telling me it's time to pick a side. And I said, thing. And a lot of people don't understand when you say, okay, I'm going to be my own thing, you really got to sell it because people question you. They're like, oh, so are you Blue Spider-Man? It's like, or, people started, when I first started, people were like attacking it. Oh, why did you change? Why did you change? It's like in the beginning, people are not going to like the change, but as they get used to it, then they start to like it. Yeah. And, when it comes to this space, I treat my following like my family. And, sometimes when you're with your family, you're not going to agree on everything, but you know that going forward, this is the best decision. So you're like, hey, you're going to like this. This is how it is. This is what it's going to be. Mm-hmm. Black Spider Guy advice. The blue is going to stay. It's permanent. Yeah. So get used to it. And then once people started accepting it, then people started complimenting on it. Oh, I love the blue. So it took a minute, but like anything over time, it started to work.
Yeah. For the people listening, if you haven't gone back and listened to or watched the first episode I had Spider Guy on, he basically dressed like Spider-Man, like the actual Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. And that was sort of his gimmick. And we had merch made on TeePublic. That was the company we were using for merch. And we actually hired an artist on Fiverr to draw us all as basically Marvel caricatures with like our heads on it. But Spider Guy's the only guy that actually dressed like Spider-Man. So we made it more of like a hood type Spider-Man where you had like a Spider-Man mask, but you had like a hoodie on and like, I think it was like
the
shorts or whatever. But it looked too much like Spider-Man. So Disney, I guess, saw it and sent a cease and desist, and we had to take that down. It was like, oh fuck, because that was like the number one selling shirt. like everyone loved Spider Guy. That's I think you had like 500,000 followers and shit on TikTok too. So people
I had 350,000, at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So people had 112,000, but people were
people were buying that up, and so then you had the blue hoodie made. So you had already ordered that, so you're like, well, fuck it, I might as well just use my merch. And
man, I did it that day. I was like, I'm not gonna let Disney stop me. So I was like, hey, I mean, I was planning on switching up to a new thing anyway. Yeah. So it was just, if anything, it was just a push in the right direction.
Right. Yeah. And also, I mean, us leading up to that, there were a lot of comments on YouTube and stuff too, where people were like, hey, good luck with Disney and that outfit and stuff and using that.
Yeah.
So we had sort of like warnings from the audience.
Oh yeah.
Leading up to it. That. So I think, it ended up being a good move to sort of rebrand and do your own blue spider thing.
Mm-hmm.
So for people unfamiliar with your stuff, because we've talked like this far and people are probably listening are like, why, we're trying to get better with women and shit. Why do we care about Spider-Man stuff? So for people that are unfamiliar with your stuff, can you give people a rundown of the kind of content you put out? Because I feel like in the manosphere, your stuff is very unique.
Mm-hmm. Now, 100%, when I first started doing this, I really wanted to be different. I didn't want to be, okay, I'm a podcaster. Here I am. Let's talk. It's like, okay, there's a lot of people like that. This is a very big and diversified niche. In 2015, it was small. You had Sandman, maybe a couple other people, but nobody was really talking like that. Then Kevin Samuels comes along and Fresh and Fit comes along, Abba and Preach. And then, it starts to diversify. People say, oh, wait a minute, this is something that people want to hear. So it blew up. but I wanted to do something different. The whole reason for the mask is there's a couple of reasons for the mask. One is obviously anonymity, right? Protecting of the identity. But number two, I wanted to be a hero, as cliche as that is, right? I mainly aim at the younger demographic, though I do have older people that follow me, where, I wanted there to be a hero, a man to save the day, to save us from the nonsense, the debauchery, the lack of common sense, to save us from the insane feminist talk of men being toxic. So I wanted to be a hero. That was the first thing, a man that was going to save us all. Right. Mm-hmm. So that's why I came up with the superhero gimmick. As far as what I do, I would say I do what everybody in this space does, but with a comedic, childlike energy. Mm-hmm. I try to have fun with it. I try to, poke fun at the truth, which is what a lot of comedians do nowadays. I try to laugh a little bit. It's like, look at the double standards. Isn't that crazy? Some people say that, oh, you're like a Deadpool character. I'm like, hey, I'm me. I'm Black Spider Guy Advice. I'm not Deadpool. I'm not Spider-Man. I'm Spider Guy, mm-hmm. Spider Guy Advice, BSG. But I just poke fun. I try to have as much fun as possible, but at the same time, I can get very serious. When I'm in a live and somebody's talking about some serious things, and you guys can look at the clips. There's clips all over the place of me getting serious. People think, oh, he's goofy, but no. I have my moments. But again, I'm just trying to take what you're doing, Paul, what Chuck and everybody else in this sphere is doing, but just make it more digestible in a childlike energy. That's all.
Gotcha. Would you say that your content has changed? I mean, besides your branding, but your content itself, has it changed at all from the last time we spoke? Because it was roughly this time last year, I think we spoke. So.
Oh yeah, man. It's definitely changed. I've become a little bit more PC, unfortunately. Kind of have to if you want to survive. I have had to kind of pull back from certain topics. Yeah. If I do talk about those topics, they're subscriber only, Patreon only. I've basically incorporated it to where I'm accepting of everybody. Anyone can come in. It's, I've made it like, it's not just a male space, but it is, kind of deal. Yeah. Where, you can come in, you can listen. I don't care if you're LGBT, I'm open to everyone coming in and talking, which has definitely helped, because people will be like, oh, you must hate women. But I mean, I even have a promo right at the front of my Instagram pinned specifically to say, hey, I don't hate women. I don't hate LGBT. This is just a place for men to talk about their issues and problems and to call out double standards. Yeah. Before it was more of like, live or let die. Let's fire at everything. But I realized, just like you said, you get banned. It's difficult. Mm-hmm. You can't survive in this super censored up world. So you got to play these games. You got to use different words. You got to use sarcasm. You start to evolve. Even the way I speak, I'll be like, those things. I'll stop and I'll pause and I'll make a joke instead of going really into certain stuff. So definitely had to evolve, like anything.
Yeah. I just want to give a quick shout out to Hippie Chick. She's like, I think she's like your number one fucking fan. She started following my stuff, and she DMs me on Instagram periodically, random thoughts and stuff. And but when she first DM'd me and reached out, she was like, "Oh, I follow Black Spider Guy Advice and da 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 da." So I was like, she's a funny one, and I guarantee she's watching if you're on this week. So
now 100%. Hippie's cool. We've talked a lot in the DM. She's got a lot going on, but she's actually just proof of me and my evolution. Honestly, I've got a lot more women that listen in. I've got a lot of women followers, and they'll come at me. They'll be, hey, what did you mean by this? And I'll just break it down for them in the DM. So, again, it's just a showing of how I've evolved and how more open I've become to allowing women in and really having them say their piece. And I'm like, okay, well, we're still a male page. We're still a male page, but we want women in here. We want women to talk. We're not going to come at you. Let's have a discussion.
Yeah. Yeah. I've always been like that. I've always liked having the female audience, although, I mean, the podcast itself, if you look at my stats, it's like 99% men, there's like very small amount of women that actually like tune in to the podcast, but on social media, I got a pretty diverse group. And a lot of the women are really cool with it. And they're like, yes, I agree 100% with what you're saying. Occasionally I'll get them arguing with me, whatever. And I can handle that. Like, okay, you disagree. Fine. You're wrong, but I mean, but what I cannot stand and I won't tolerate though, is when they disagree and I'm like, this is why it is. And then they just start hurling insults at me. I'm like, okay, you're gone. I'll block them and then delete their negativity, because it's like, I don't need that shit in my life, for one. Two, I don't need people reporting me. So
man, I am a blocking fiend. You become very good at blocking in this space. I do preemptive blocks. I block. I look at who follows me on every single thing I have, because I don't need any sensitive anything. I did that when I first started my Instagram page, is block everybody that I knew would do that, because sadly, even though we're supposed to be a free society, we live in a very let's get him gone world, unfortunately. But I have girls that I had girls that I thought were cool. Hey, we're gonna do this. Hey, we're gonna do that. I love what you do, Spider Guy, to, oh, you're stupid, you're an insult. It's amazing how fast that switch occurs. From one time wanting to assist you to then all of a sudden now you're my biggest hater and you're trying to completely and utterly destroy what I'm trying to say. It's just, it's crazy how that flip happens. But, doing this for so long, and I'm sure you can attest to this, you become very good at being able just to handle just hate in general. It's actually helped me in real life, honestly. Like, people come at me, I don't even care, because again, I deal with this on a daily basis, just showing who I am and just talking,
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if people like, if the camera was like, I never know what Zoom's going to do if it was following me, but all of a sudden the light just went out on me. so I'm like, oh crap, I got to find a new plug for this. Anyway, I'm the same way. At least on TikTok, I will preemptively block people on TikTok if, they have like pronouns in their bio, if they have rainbows and shit. And it has nothing to do with them having pronouns necessarily. It's the fact that those types of people are the ones that tend to be so intolerant of other people's viewpoints that they they can't just disagree. They have to report you and get you completely deplatformed.
Oh yeah.
And TikTok is the only platform I've ever had a problem on. On Instagram, I don't get anything taken down. The only thing that ever gets flagged is like occasionally I'll post a meme that might go too far.
Yeah.
But I can see exactly like, okay, I can see that definitely violated,
they're violations. More fair. They're a lot more fair. And I think it's because it's based to a more older demographic, though there are younger people on there.
Yeah.
Not going to say there isn't, but I feel like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube are aimed at an older demographic, though YouTube is a little more sensitive than Instagram. But I feel like IG and FB are definitely older focused.
Yeah. One thing I really like about Instagram and YouTube is that I can set my profile up to be for 18 and up only. So if you're lying about your age, that's not my fault. Whereas TikTok, they don't do that because it's a kids app. And we've talked about this on Mantastic 4, but you have no way.
It's definitely a kids app.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even though there's lots of adults on there talking about adult things, like their guidelines are just so ridiculously strict and like just arbitrary.
Yeah, man, they follow the mob and it's unfortunate, but it's just how it is, bro.
Yeah. So like people that would make me famous, right? Like, was it Drew Afwalo, whatever her name is?
Yeah. The one that laughs at everybody.
Yeah. Like her annoying laugh. Is she trans? Is she trans?
I don't think so. She's actually dating this dude. I don't think she's trans now.
The only reason why I ask is because, I had this grand idea the other day, like, you know what, maybe I will unblock her because I've been tagged in like a million videos by her minions already. I was like, maybe I'll unblock her and maybe she'll do a fucking hate video and I'll blow up. And then I was like, that's a bad idea because her minions will come and fucking mass report me. So I re-blocked her like almost immediately, but I looked at one of her videos and she was complaining that she got misgendered. And I was like,
well,
the only people that care about that are trans people, you know?
Nah, what I've noticed is and it's really unfortunate. People are conforming to the mob in order to become popular on that page. Like I've noticed dudes, there's a lot of pandering on TikTok. A lot of dudes will say things that literally go against themselves, right? Men attacking men. It's a huge thing on there. Derek Jacks, if you will, where dudes will say things like, it's the men out there that are creating these problems. I'm like, but you're a man, dude. Like,
yeah. And they're doing the same thing that the female chameleons do, which is they do it to build a following. Like not to name names, but Emily King, you know, she has a,
please stand by. We are having technical difficulties.
All right. Damn technical difficulties here. So I don't know where it got cut off there, but we were talking about female MRAs and the guys who are male panderers basically on TikTok. And I said, I don't want to name names, but Emily King comes to mind, you know, because she's got like 2 million followers and she basically will talk trash about women, say like, oh, women need to step up, women need to do better and stuff like that. And so, of course, you have all these men flocking to people like that, not just Emily, but they flock to people like that going, yeah, she gets us. She understands us. Women are trash. And then on the flip side, you have these guys that are pandering to women going, yeah, men are trash. Men need to fix themselves. And women are like, yeah. So it's all
perpetuating. Yeah. What's really sad is that you've got these false people, because overall the main issue, the reason why we're able to make these platforms is because there is an issue in dating. There are problems that are going on.
Oh yeah.
And I tell people all the time, sure, I'm trying to get funding. Yes, I get donations, but I still stay true to the fact that there is a problem and it needs to be fixed. You know, people out here are perpetuating the issue, creating drama and using that to grow and make money. And then all it does is create an even bigger issue. And I think they're just feeding off of the problem. It's like Emily King, if you want to be a female MRA, that's fine. You have, nothing against you. But at the end of the day, you gotta, I remember I was telling a girl this one time, I was like, you realize you're basically an OnlyFans person. The only difference is instead of selling your body, you're selling hope, right? You're selling hope to all of these dudes. All of these men are thirsting for, I said this to Tay, Tay is another female MRA. She's big on TikTok and YouTube. And I was talking to Tay and I said, Tay, low key, a lot of these dudes are only listening to you because not only do you have boobs and a butt, but you have this appealing message that they want to hear. They would much rather hear it from an attractive woman than me. Like I remember one dude was like, oh man, Spider Guy, what you said didn't make sense until I heard it come from, I don't know, Pearl. Right, Pearl is another female MRA.
Just pearly things, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, isn't it interesting how men will not listen to other men, but they'll listen to other women because they simp for them. Like, you're simping.
Yeah.
And they don't even realize it. And they're like, well, what do you mean by that? I'm like, you're only listening to her because she's attractive to you.
Yeah.
You are lusting for her, and your lust is then keeping you there. You're not there for the message.
I would say, too, another thing is that men think that, well, women are the authority on women. Women understand women. They're women. Of course they do. Like it's so a lot of guys go to women for advice about women, which is just a fucking terrible idea because women don't even know what the fuck they want. They don't even know what they want to eat for dinner half the time. I say that all the time.
Facts.
So you cannot go to women for advice about women. And another thing, Rollo Tomasi says it really well, is that women, they just want guys to get it, right? They want, because they sleep with alpha males, right? They sleep with alphas, they settle with betas. Everyone knows that. And they want a true alpha male, which is a guy that they believe just gets it, that doesn't have to be told. So when a guy goes to a woman and says, hey, give me advice about women, that immediately tells her monkey brain, this guy doesn't get it. Why would I jeopardize the sisterhood by giving this guy good advice?
No, 100%. And I remember I told a dude, I was like, do you think the woman you follow would date you?
Right.
And and it's like, really think about that. Would the women you're following, would they really date you? Honestly, she's saying she would date a nice guy, but do you see her dating you?
Yeah.
No.
And of course she wouldn't, because she's like, well, I got to give this guy advice. He clearly doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Therefore, he doesn't get it.
Right. And it's just funny to me. And even as Spider Guy, I've had girls hit on me in the DMs, which is kind of funny because, like you said, women want a man that just gets it. Not to say I'm some alpha fucking male, but you know, at the end of the day, women are drawn to men that, like you said, get it, or at least show that they get it,
or we've learned it. Yeah,
you know, and it's just unfortunate. You know, dudes will tell me, "Hey, man, did you talk to Pearly things?" Like I was on a live with Tay, and all of a sudden everybody was like, "Yo, Spider Guy, you're legit now, man." I'm like, what do you mean I'm legit now? What, I had to be on a podcast with a woman in order to solidify male issues? That doesn't make any sense, because she could never teach you the suffering of a man, because she's never suffered as a man.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and also she's an attractive woman physically, so she's definitely not going to understand your plight. So I don't understand. But then I look at her videos, you know, nothing against Tay, but I'll look at her videos and I'll see dudes just going, "Oh my God, she's so attractive. Oh my God, she's so sexy. Oh my God, she's my queen." And I'm like, how is this fixing the problem?
I will say that some of them know that, you know, and I think maybe all of them know that deep down, that they're taking advantage of it. But one I will say I do like is Sarah Dawn Moore. She used to go by Spunky Millennial. And the reason why is because when I chat with her in the DMs and stuff like that on Instagram, and we talk about strategy and we talk about female MRAs and stuff like that, and she's always like 100% with me, you know. And one of the things I asked her the other day, because I've slowly been watching her Instagram since I've been trying to build my Instagram, and she literally went from like 2,000. She was less than me, and in a period of 2 weeks, she has 90,000 fucking followers on Instagram. Yeah. And so I asked her, I said, "Hey, your growth on Instagram is unbelievable, you know." And her growth on TikTok is retarded too. I think she probably has 1 million followers now on TikTok. So, but on Instagram, like getting 90,000 followers is not an easy thing to do.
Oh, hell no.
And she got it in the period of like 3 weeks. And so I said, "Do you have any tips on how to grow on Instagram?" And she goes, "I don't know. I think it's just, you know, my content and, you know, blah, blah, blah." And then she goes, "And let's be honest, I got a pair of tits."
Yep.
I was
that's
like,
what it is.
Bango. We like figured it out. I just replied back with emojis, like the little notes emojis, like I need to get tits. So
it's unfortunate, because sex sells even in this space, which is so sad to me.
Right.
Even I've been looking for a Gwen Stacy. I've been looking for a Mary Jane, honestly, just not to date, but just to kind of boost the, like, it would be good to have a back and forth with a female.
Yeah.
But you know, it's again, like you said, it's the chest, it's the butt.
I wouldn't want to do that because I don't want to diminish what like the content is like. So I don't mind growing a little bit slower, because I want to be authentic as well. Right, but I will say, so the other day I posted a picture of my girlfriend, Nurse Chick, and
that was a good picture.
Her picture by itself, and I even, like, you know, put an emoji over her face because I want to keep her you know, anonymous. But that picture has, like, in just a couple of days had like already like 5,000, you know, likes and shit. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I put a hot chick on my thing, and like, that's, you guys are sad. You guys are sad out there.
It's sad. Like, even in this space where men are seeking other men to help them, men still instinctively only want to find a woman. And when they see another man with that woman, all of a sudden now he's validated. Just like with me and Tay, or when I'm on any other show with females, dudes are like, "Oh my God, see, Spider Guy, this is why I follow you." And it's like, bro, you shouldn't follow me because I can get women. You should follow me because what I'm saying helps you and has helped you.
Yeah, and that's what I've been putting out at the time of this recording. I've been putting out a lot of that lately. Guys' comments where they're saying, "Hey, your stuff has helped me." I post that out. I'm like, "Hey, these are the kind of receipts you guys should care about. You guys shouldn't care about how hot my girlfriend is. I mean, yeah, she's hot, but that has zero impact on your life. What impacts your life is testing out what I'm telling you, and if what I tell you brings you results, like that's all you should care about.
Facts. I've been posting my receipts too, man.
Yeah.
And I love reading them because it's just it's motivation.
Yeah.
A lot of people I don't make anything really from this. I do this almost like 24 hours a day. Yeah. And I definitely don't get paid like I'm working 24 hours a day.
Well, so, I want this to be my full-time gig, which is why I started a Patreon as well. I'm now offering coaching. I never wanted to do any kind of coaching. I solely wanted to do podcast hosting. And if I could get big enough sponsors where I could just do podcasts, I would do that, and I wouldn't do the coaching thing. But but the sponsors don't pay hardly anything.
Facts.
Like for like over a year now, I've had Duke Cannon, which I still love Duke Cannon. Like I use their products,
right?
But I make pennies. Like when you guys buy a cologne, like I might get 3 cents from that. It's nothing.
Yeah, bro. That's why I just stick to Cash App donations.
Right.
And that's about it. I'm just like, hey, just donate through the Cash App, because even with Patreon, they're taking a piece of the pie off the top. And, so I just tell people straight up, if you want to support me, just Cash App me, just Venmo me, or don't even buy merchandise. Just share my content, donate, subscribe. I know Instagram has a new subscribe feature. I'm like, subscribe to me and donate through Cash App. That's all I need to support, because I take all my money and I put it into a fund. I have a Spider Guy fund. Yeah. And I'm just trying to build that up until I get to a point where it's like, okay, now we can make this a full-time gig, because I'm not relying on any kind of third-party system. Yeah. Because it's unfortunate, but it's just how it has to be.
Yeah. One thing I do like about Patreon is that it's subscription based. So people that do sign up for it are, they're supporting the podcast on a monthly basis, which is
that's what I love that too.
It's such a much bigger help than trying to have sponsors and stuff like that. But I also then there's guys that want help, but they don't want to pay a monthly subscription. Yeah, like they just want to do a one-off thing. So I started making that available too, where you can just go to the link in my bio, and you can select like a one-on-one session. That's just one time. It goes through PayPal. It's like
nice. I do that with Cash App. I'm just like, Cash App me, and then we can set it up. It's just easier just to have it with you and the follower than it is to go through this whole system. It's just unnecessary.
It really is. It really is. Yeah, for sure. So going back to Instagram, and you have how many followers now? Like 16,000?
14.6K.
Now I told you I asked Sarah Dawn Moore, and she said I need to have tits. Do you have any tips on Instagram growth?
I mean, I do the advertising thing, right? I pay for, I do the little advertising thing, but I don't do it a lot. I do it like once a month. But honestly, my growth.
You'll pick like one meme or one video and boost it, and then do you have people go to, because there's like 3 options there. I've tried it out too. There's like 3 options there. One's like go to a website. One's like go to your profile. Do you do the go to your profile?
I do the go to my profile.
Okay.
And what I've done is I boosted like 5 different things and just saw what video did the best. And there's this one video that I own. It's the only video that I boost now. And it always brings in more people. But I'm not going to lie to you. One of my videos recently reached 1 million views on Instagram.
Wow. Okay.
And I didn't boost it. I wasn't even thinking.
Reels and shorts are being pushed so hard right now. I have a short on YouTube that I published 7 months ago that's going viral right now. It has 500,000 views on YouTube.
Nice.
And I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, like I've noticed that my my Instagram reels are getting much more reach than my TikTok videos. And I have 23,000 people on TikTok.
It's a difference in the algorithm, honestly, and also the demographic of people that watch. You know, that demographic really matters.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna have older people watching, but you know, as far as just like overall Instagram growth, like I would just attest it to, I literally upload every single mother effing day. I message back to every single follower I can. I'm always trying to interact with my followers. I'm always trying to talk to them. I listen to them as far as, hey, you know, could you make a video on this? I'm like, sure. You know, I'm always, if somebody donates, I immediately thank them. I make a video for them. You know, I'm always trying to answer questions as best I can. But overall, man, and this is going to sound so generic and it doesn't help anybody, but people just like the video, I guess. It's just
right. Like whenever you ask like big content creators, you're like, what can I do to grow? And they're like, make good content. You're like, fuck off. You know?
Right. Like I don't want to be that guy, but like the video that has 1 million views right now was literally the quickest video I've made in a while. And I did not even think it was that good. I was like, okay, just another video I made. This is funny. And now, like literally I was like, what, 12,000? And then I gained 4,000 followers in like 2 weeks. Yeah. And I was just like, why? Like, I'm even asking myself, I'm like, why? And I look at the video and I'm like, this? It's always the thing that you don't think is going to do well.
Right.
That just does well. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
You know, I still don't know, man. I really don't. Even the first video I had that reached 1 million views on TikTok. I look back at it and I'm like, that wasn't a lot of editing. That wasn't any magic. That was just me being me. And I'm like, I guess me being me is something that people want to watch. I'm entertaining, I guess.
Yeah, that one that's blown up on YouTube. It's funny, man. I could look at myself in it from 7 months ago and go, Jesus Christ, I was like tired. I must have felt like filmed that, you know, at like 1 o'clock in the morning, or I got this grand idea. My eyes were all like bloodshot because I was fucking tired and shit. And I'm like, God, I look like absolute ass in that. But that's the one that's going viral. Great. Yeah.
It's always the one you don't think is going to do well.
Yeah. I want to ask you about your Patreon. So we touched on Patreon before, and you said they have to get a chunk of it. But I mean, besides that, like, what's your experience with that? Like, do you have a lot of patrons now, or a decent amount,
I have a consistent 30. Sometimes it fluctuates from 30 to 27, but it's 27 to 30. In the beginning, I had like 40, but you come to realize that there's some people who come in and really want to help you just like one time. And then there's the people who are like, yo, I am with you all the way. And I think it's because, you know, my first Patreon subscription is only like $3 or something like that. Something that
I added 2 smaller tier things for guys that just want to, you know, just want to help out the show a little bit. Like,
no, it's beautiful though.
Yeah.
Because if you get enough people to do the small ones, it becomes a nice little chunk of change, you know. And again, I take all that money and I put it into a fund. I don't spend any of it. But you know, Patreon it's been loyal to me. You know, it's been good to me. It definitely gives me motivation to do more work, because I get more money on Patreon than I do anywhere else.
Yeah.
You know, I do get my donations here and there, and that's always nice, but Patreon is consistent. It's definitely the one thing that I have on all my platforms that makes me happy when I see more people get on.
That's awesome.
It definitely helps.
Has anyone asked you more about the face reveal tier?
The face reveal tier. I have that pinned at the very front. It's $1 million to have a one-on-one with me, to see me without the mask. And I made that kind of just as a joke in a way, but I mean, hey, if somebody were to do it, I guess I would do it, just because, you know, it's
You'd have to.
Yeah, I'd have to at that point. And, you know, people have asked me about it. It's got 500 views on it. People commenting, they're like, oh, you're going to get exposed. Somebody's going to do it. I think Tay said that if, once she gets big, or if she makes her first mil or a couple mil or whatever, she says she's going to pay it, and then she'll do it. But it's, you know, it's there, it's real, you know, but, will anybody do it? I don't know. Hey, we'll see. You know,
if you got a few extra mil just laying around, you're looking for something to blow it on.
Oh, yeah,
hit up Spider Guy advice, you know?
But I mean, even, you know, people ask me all the time, like, what would you do with that money? And it's like, very simple. I wouldn't stop what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, this is the dream. This is the goal. And
well, I just want to ask you this though. If, I mean, one of the reasons why $1 million would actually help is, I mean, one of the reasons why you start off doing the mask thing is so that you can protect your anonymity. So you wouldn't ever have to worry about cancel culture and stuff like that. But if someone paid you $1 million, like, you could quit your job and do this full time. And
exactly. It wouldn't bother.
You could just remove the mask and put your stuff out there without the mask.
No, 100%.
Right?
People don't understand. I've been doing this for like 2 years, almost 3 years now. You know, with this mask on, and it's because I'm not trying to get fired. I'm not trying to be followed. And my identity is worth $1 million to me. It is because it's my life. It's my livelihood.
Right.
Yes, it is $1 million. Like you said, I know how to invest money, so I would be able to live off of that investment money. But also, I would be able to go 100% into this. I'd be able to go to different locations, fly out. You know, I would really like to move into a different place, really actually build a podcasting space in a separate room, and really just expand, go hard, go in, bring people on. But I can't really do that if I'm working all the time, you know? So
right.
This is what it is until that day occurs. People think that, they're like, oh, you're just going to get that money and leave. I'm like, no, I really would like to do this full time. I really want to fix the issues in our society.
Yeah.
Just can't do it. On my, not Daily Bugle, my Daily Bugle budget.
Yeah.
Taking pictures of Spider-Man around the city budget, man. It's not enough.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is, like, when I first started doing this, I sort of started doing it as just like a mental health outlet for myself. I did. And then now I get guys in the comments talking about like how the stuff I've been talking about for the last several years has changed their life. Like, I don't know if you saw a video of it, but I posted. I
read all of them. I read all your stuff.
Well, did you see the one from his name he goes by Black Bear on
yes.
TikTok? He lost 400 pounds and he was struggling last year to like get over a plateau he was at. And he started watching my TikToks and stuff and started reading the books that I recommend, started exercising and changing his diet and stuff like that based on like all my videos. And now he's totally thin now, you know?
Wow.
And he was able to do his very first, he actually did a chin up but he called it a pull up and everyone lost their mind in his comment section, but he was able to finally do a chin up. He's never been able to do a chin up his whole life. And he's now able to do that. And it's like just little things like that. I'm like, well, geez, I never thought that me doing a podcast would be changing lives. And I'd really like to do that full time, is like helping other men out there, you know? Yeah,
man. I get DMs all the time and I post them, I'll cut them and I'll put it in like a nice little video with some good music in the background. I don't know if you've seen them.
Yeah.
But, you know, I had one dude tell me legit, he's like, Spider Guy, I was thinking about ending my life. I was fat. I was, you know, not even going to school. He's like, now I'm going to school and I lost weight and I'm doing better in dating. And I'm like, I did that. It's just like, I never thought 3 years ago, putting on a Spider-Man mask, you know, move into the future. Here I am helping people from, you know, with mental health issues. It's just wild. One
thing too, I really like too is, and I kind of feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you sort of came out of like a MGTOW type space, right? Like,
oh yeah, bro.
Yeah. So there, one of the things that I love is guys that were there. They were in that red pill rage, that they were black pill. They fucking hated women. They basically gave up on having any kind of relationship. And then they started with my content and they're like, wait a minute, like I actually have a shot here. They started applying it and they're like, I am dating women now. And like, I'm actually leading relationships now. And it's like, yeah, man, like you don't have to give up. You know, you don't have to, there's a way
100%.
out.
There's always an option to be able to get women.
Yeah.
Whether it be, you know, I know Afi Kingdom, shout out to him. He talks about how you can get a passport and travel the world. There's other guys that, you know, that utilize different systems. There's a whole bunch of different systems, you know, you can always get it. Like you said, I came out of the MGTOW space. I was one of those people that was like, fuck women, you don't need them bitches, blah, blah, blah. But then as you get older, I'm 28 right now, you start going, wait a minute.
Old, dude. So old.
Yeah, I'm so old, man. But, you start realizing like, wait a minute, I really do want to have a girl in my life. I would like to have a woman to come home to potentially,
Yeah.
And so this is when I started telling people, look, I don't hate women, I'm not mad at women, but I definitely want men to be aware of female nature. You definitely want to be aware of what can happen to you.
Sure.
But you don't you're not so afraid that you don't want to go outside because, oh my God, the women. And it's like, no, man, like you want to have bedroom fun. You want to kiss a girl. Stop lying to yourself. Get out of your feelings. Do the work. Increase your value. I know I hear you say this all the time. It's like, hey, man, how do you expect to get a woman if you're not doing the work? I think you said that in one of your videos.
I say that kind of shit all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's like I remember like 5 years ago, I wasn't as fit as I am. I'm ripped. I'm completely ripped.
Yeah, you are really ripped under that hoodie, man. Like if you guys go follow Spider Guy, he's fucking Hulk in mass. Yeah, are you sure you're not Black Hulk advice?
No, but I mean, I'm the type of dude, you see me walk in the room, I got big back, I got big arms and stuff like that. But I remember a time when I was that 145 pound skinny kid, big neck, looking like a crazy person, couldn't talk to a girl to save my life. Didn't even know who I was.
Yeah.
Back in those days, I used to say, I don't know if you remember this. It was like this forever alone thing. I used to always be like, I used to be like, I'm forever alone. It was a meme. I'm forever alone. I'll never find anybody. And I think back to those days and I'm like, I was a complete weakling. I didn't put any value into myself. I was putting all this anger out onto these women saying, F these women. I wasn't even somebody I would date. Now I look at myself now and it's like, yeah, I would date me now. Hell yeah. I put in the work, I put in the time. I know who I am. I'm confident. But, I always remember those MGTOW red pill rage days where, it's just like, damn, maybe some of us had to go through that. Some people don't have to go through that, but I definitely did. But once you get out of that phase and you start calming down, you start realizing, blue pill stuff isn't necessarily 100% evil. There's things to it. But you're aware of it now. You don't want to just be blue pill and you're kind of just stuck in the matrix. You want to be able to kind of shift around. Some people call it black pill. Some people say purple pill. I don't even use
too many goddamn pills out there. Yeah.
I don't even hashtag red pill. I don't even hashtag MGTOW. I don't do any of those hashtags. Like I did 2 years ago. I just do Black Spider Guy.
The hashtag red pill is actually banned now on TikTok.
Yeah, man, they banned all that stuff. So it's like, I stopped doing that because I realized, like, wait a minute, I'm Black Spider Guy advice. I'm not red pill anymore. I'm not MGTOW anymore. I'm me, and I just want men to be aware of what women can do. I'm not saying that women are these evil beings.
Yeah,
they can be evil, but you need to just be aware of that. And if you can apply what I teach you, because I mentioned you too, I'm like, Paul, what Chuck teaches you, because I still, even though we're not the Mantastic Four anymore, we still the Mantastic Four. If I go, you go, whatever. But anyway, I tell people all the time, like, look, man, you want a woman. You don't want to be single. This is why you're here. This is why you're upset.
Yeah.
Admit it, accept it, become high value for yourself, but also because this is what they want. But don't fall into the trap of being blue pill. Like I remember you were saying in one of your videos, a lot of dudes will do the work. All of a sudden they switch up.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they forget everything.
They'll get a woman, they fall right back into their old fucking ways.
Yeah, man. And it's sad. It's like, how did you go from looking like the Hulk to being skinny and crying and not going to work? And it's just like, because you forgot, you always have to come back, I used to say, I want people to learn and then leave. It's like, nah, I kind of want people to learn, linger around, refresh yourself. I have to do that sometimes.
Yeah. I
got to refresh myself. I'll listen to Chuck sometimes, listen to you, or I'll listen to Steph is Cold. I'm like, okay, I was messing up a little bit, but let me get this refresher. Everybody needs a refresher, just like, a master chef, maybe a master chef, but sometimes you need to practice the basics. He's got to be in the kitchen fucking cooking on a daily basis, man, or else he'll lose it. That's why, like a doctor, they call it a practice,
because they got to practice medicine every day or they'll fucking forget. It's the same shit, you know?
Yeah. It's just applied in this particular niche. That's all.
Yep. 100%. All right, brother, we are at an hour, man. This has been a real fun conversation. I don't know if everybody at home thought so, but it was good catching up anyway. So fuck those guys. Just kidding. I love you guys. I love all you guys.
It feels good. It's definitely different from when I'm talking to like a stranger, because you know we're like friends, right? We're pals, so it's just like it's like talking to a friend. So it's good.
We still have the Mantastic 4 group chats that we go back and forth on, like all the time still. So if you guys were wondering, we all still connect. We just haven't been making content together for forever, but
we're all just trying to grow.
Yeah. So where can people find you online these days?
Everything is Black Spider Guy Advice, no spaces. Black Spider Guy Advice. I'm literally on every single platform, but my home is Instagram. That's my home.
Okay. I will. Do you have like a link tree or something like that?
Yeah, I got a link tree.
All right.
It's in my bio.
I'll drop that down in the description of this if you guys want to go check out Black Spider Guy Advice. His stuff is actually pretty fucking funny. He's got rap videos. He's got, skits that he does. He makes fun of whores and 304s and shit. It's, like that. Everyone likes dunking on hoes, so that's the best part of the manosphere. Everybody knows that. So, but yeah, like Black Spider Guy Advice has some really good content. Definitely check him out. All right, brother, man, I'll let you have your evening back so you can go save people.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you for having me on the show, bro. And you're growing like crazy on YouTube, bro. So keep it up, man. Hopefully we can reach the top together. If not, I'll climb up the wall and I'll break into your house and then I'll be like, hey.
take my following on YouTube. Yeah. All right, man. I'll catch you later.
Catch you later, bro. Thank you, man.
Spider Guy, or I guess a lot of people call him BSG. I like calling him BSG, especially on text. We're in a group chat. I like to refer to him as BSG. But anyway, BSG, good catching up with you, man. Thanks for coming back on the show. You're welcome back anytime. Guys, I want to give another shout out to the Patreon, patreon.com/comeonmanpod. If you have not signed up for it yet, and you get a lot of value out of the show, go to the description or go to patreon.com/comeonmanpod. The lowest tier is like $5. It's like a cup of coffee. And just help support the show, man. It helps put this show in front of more men that we can help out together if you help me. And also get on my email list.comeonmanpod.com and get a bunch of cool free stickers. Remember, ladies, none of you can be first, but all of you can be next. All right, guys, that's all I have for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll catch you next week on Monday.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. New full episodes served hot every Monday morning on your favorite podcast platform of choice. So subscribe now. Follow Paul on social media. The links are in the description. Now, go out and get it.